quick break. Got your fire safety game plan? When it comes to your home, every second matters. That's why we trust Kidde smoke alarms. They're built to respond fast and cut down on false alarms, so you can act with confidence when it counts. And now you can upgrade to over 25% faster smoke detection with Kidde's latest technology. It's more time to react and more peace of mind. That's why Kidde is North America's #1 home fire safety brand. So whether you're upgrading or installing for the first time, go with the alarms that deliver performance when it matters most. Kidde, help protect what matters the most. Find it at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. 29% faster average smoke detection based on internal testing of smoldering wood fires for Kidde 9th edition versus leading competitor 8th edition products based on total household installations as of December 2023.
Coming up on SportsCenter all night. Two MVPs clash on the court.
Right side. Out front, Castanango right, Rainbow 3 that's on the way. Nothing but net. Shake it under money ball. Shea. Lawson sticks of beauty. He's got 15 now.
Phil's leadership looks to the future.
My decision to bring in a new coach was based on the results of our game in Denver. I know we can do better.
Lake Show drama comes to light.
At times his outsized ego or Clutch Sports, the agency represents them, their control over the organization, or multiple instances in which she talked about not wanting to sign him to a contract extension or feeling that he wasn't grateful enough.
Plus, it's a battle of the cats in Arizona.
Out top, Pete center circle, handed off to Purries. Around to Pete's screen, bounce it back to Cole, to the bucket, slam it home.
First time Arizona's had a streak to the rim uninhibited since the 17-minute mark.
From the worldwide headquarters of ESPN, this is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jay Reynolds.
SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio, the all-new ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. One NFL team beating a guy when he's down. College teams trying to stay unbeaten. Those are on the way. But speaking of hoops, NBA action on Wednesday. Oklahoma City, been the best team since the season began. They did hit a bump over the holiday season, but they're still the only team without double digits in the loss column. Wednesday, facing Milwaukee, which has been struggling.
Shea high post right. Drives baseline on the run, goes glass and banks home his 39th and 40th points from 10 feet away. Shea for the fourth time this season over 40. A dazzling display in every way. 115-97 Thunder, 4:15 left.
WWLS 98-1, the sports animal. Thunder, a 122-102 win over Milwaukee. They win by 20. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, a 40-point night, 16 of 19 from the floor, 40 points, 11 assists. Third player in NBA history with 40 points, 80% shooting, and double-digit assists in a game. Joining Emmanuel Quickley, who did it on Tuesday, and Wilt Chamberlain, who did it 3 times. The result for the Thunder, the reigning champs had their 17th win by at least 20 points this season, 8 more than any other team. SGA after his 40-point night.
We have a bunch of guys that are driven and hungry. We're not satisfied with just one championship. We play this game, we pick the basketball up to be great and maximize our potential, and we still feel like we have a lot more to go, a lot of room to grow, and that's what we're chasing.
The thing that I love about great players and great coaches is if you ask them about wins, they kind of blend together. But if you ask them about a loss, they remember it vividly. This isn't a loss, but I just mentioned you went 16 for 19 tonight. Do you remember the 3 misses, and are you mad about any of them?
Yeah, I missed 2 layups in a row in the third quarter, and I missed another layup going left off the glass in the second quarter. So I missed my 3 shots I missed were all layups, and usually layups are my easiest shots, so I got to get back in the lab.
What's the approach, given what you guys could do, regular season records and all the rest? Sort of, how do you view the time between now and the most important games, and how you as a team will attack them?
Yeah, we got to continue to get better. And the season is long. It's full of ups and downs. It's full of wild travel and back-to-backs and all type of crazy things. But it's the NBA season. Everyone's going through it. And the teams that grow from their experiences the best throughout the season are most prepared for the postseason. And we feel like we did that and gave ourselves the best shot we could last year, and it worked out for us. So continuing that formula and just getting better each and every day, no matter what life throws at us, what the game throws at us, will be our best bet.
SGA with our Scott Van Pelt. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's second career game with 40 points and 10 assists. Bucks trailed by 20 after the first quarter. They wind up losing by 20. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 19 in the 20-point loss. Knicks went into Wednesday 2-9 in their last 11, having been blown out in their last game on their home court, blown out by the Dallas Mavericks, fourth worst record in the West. New York fans were not happy, and the Knicks heard the boos. Wednesday, they returned to the court, this time against the third worst team in the East, the Brooklyn Nets. This one, perhaps a bit more palatable for Knicks fans.
McBride, the long rebound into the front court. Cross-court pass, Shamet fires a three. Good. Knicks by 40. Timeout, Brooklyn. Wolf straight on, three-pointer is good. It's 120-66. It will not be the lowest scoring fourth quarter by a Knicks opponent, but it will be the largest margin of victory in the history of the New York Knicks franchise as they beat the Nets tonight 120-66.
880 ESPN New York. You heard that correctly. Nets managed 66 points. Their fewest since scoring 65 in March of 2005. Fewest by any NBA team since the Mavericks managed all of 64 in a loss to the Grizzlies in 2016. Michael Porter Jr. was the Nets' leading scorer with a dozen. Knicks win it by 54, as you heard, largest margin of victory in franchise history. Celtics get a 119-104 win over the Pacers. Boston's 11th win by at least 15 points this season. Jaylen Brown, 30 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists in the win. ESPN insider Brian Windhorst.
Jaylen Brown's having a great season, even by Celtic standards, okay? I mean, and the way he's doing it is so impressive. Like, he is having one of the greatest mid-range shooting seasons we've ever seen. Now, tonight, he just attacked the Pacers with bully ball. He's done that about 600 times this year. He's shooting like 58% on him. It's crazy. So he's having an amazing season. They play smart. They don't turn the ball over. They did little things like just get their pro personnel right. They made a couple of really good minor free agent signings that have paid off. Nimi Keita, and picking up guys like that, picking up Luka Garza. Then their draft guys from the last few years that didn't play that much, they're playing really well. Jordan Walsh playing really well. Hugo Gonzalez playing really well. None of those things are going to lead your show, but you put them all together, and it's very impressive. And the reason that the Celtics are worth talking about is because there's this big, giant 6'9" guy, Jason Tatum, maybe 6'10", who's lingering out there, who could be the game changer. Forget about the trade deadline. The biggest move in the NBA could be Jason Tatum showing back up at some point in this season. And the Celtics have put themselves in position that if he comes back, it's a huge game changer.
Celtics winning this one 119-104, 11th win by at least 15 this season, third most in the NBA behind the Thunder and the Rockets. In Charlotte, Hornets hosting the Cavaliers.
Here's Mitchell, right of the lane. He'll shot put it up and score. Donovan Mitchell now with 21 points in the ball game. 82-73. Cavs back to a 9-point advantage. 6:10 to go. Mitchell, right of the lane to Tyson. Turns, shoots, banks, and scores.
Just when you need him, Tim. That's what Tyson does.
Tyson with 11. Cavaliers with a little bit of breathing room. 86-73.
1100 WTAM. Cavs a 94-87 win over the Hornets. The 94 points fewest by any winning team in a game this season. Donovan Mitchell, 24 points, 6 assists, 8 turnovers, but they get the win.
Donovan, y'all were able to weather the storm with that second half comeback. What did it take defensively to close this one out today?
We knew they weren't going to lie down, right? They're a talented team, well coached. They missed some shots, so we did a lot of good things, but at the end of the day, we found a way, and that's all that matters.
Double-double from Evan Mobley tonight. What did you see from him that helped him be so effective?
Just his aggression level, right? I think the biggest thing now is just continuing it throughout and trying to find the balance. He was doing things. He's a monster defensively, right? I think offensively, continue to find ways to get him to be more aggressive like he was tonight. night to start throughout the whole game, but he was a monster, man. He's a big part. Him and Jay, big part why he won this game. And I'm proud of him. Bye, baby.
Without Darius out there, how did you see the rest of your bench and your team step up?
Man, Jalen, Tyson, and I have been working on this short roll for all season, and you're seeing it pay off in little spurts, right? And it's not perfect, but it's big time. Naquan Tomlin, every time our bench unit comes in, those young guys, they make great plays, energy plays, effort plays. That's what you want.
The Cavaliers get the win on Wednesday, 94-87 over the Hornets, who have a 5-game home losing streak, their longest this season. SportsCenter All Night, presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of an ice cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing.
Buffalo Bills have fired head coach Sean McDermott.
Wow.
They have to get someone to win now.
This is a team that struggled to get over the hump. No Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow in the postseason. Could not do it.
If you had given that scenario to Bills fans, you would have had them all booking their tickets to Santa Clara, saying we are getting to the Super Bowl.
Buffalo dominated the AFC East for 6 years. Nothing to show for it. It's just unacceptable.
Conference championships this weekend. AFC game will be in Denver. Bills lost there last weekend and then fired their coach Sean McDermott. Bills becoming the 10th team to have a coaching turnover this offseason. And Wednesday, their owner, Terry Pegula, said, yeah, it's because the Broncos won that game last weekend.
My decision to bring in a new coach was based on the results of our game in Denver. I want to take you in the locker room after that game. I looked around. First thing I noticed was our quarterback with his head down, crying. I looked at all the other players. I looked at their faces and our coaches. I walked over to Josh. He didn't even acknowledge I was there. First thing I said to him, I said, that was a catch. We all know what I'm talking about. He didn't acknowledge me. He just sat there sobbing. He was listless. He had given everything he had to try to win that game. And looking around, so did all the other players on the team. I saw the pain in Josh's face at his presser, and I felt his pain. I know we can do better, and I know we will get better.
Well, Wednesday's comments from the Bills owners certainly turning some heads. ESPN analyst Dan Orlovsky.
One, Sean McDermott deserved better. I think, two, it sounded, and Mr. Pegula said this, that they lost the game and that's what made the decision. And he kind of throughout the press conference pointed to other moments, but we're holding hostage the future of the football team on a play because they lose the game on a play. Whatever play you want to point to, that being the reason they lose the game. And so it's a disastrous situation when the owner implies for a moment that they decided to fire the head coach, a great one, because they lost that game.
Which was certainly an emotional loss. Emotions evident, described in the locker room afterwards. But earlier on ESPN Radio, our Emmett Golden.
Josh felt like he lost that game. He did. That's why he didn't want to hear what the owner was saying at that time. Because he took proper responsibility for the role he played in that loss. He wasn't crying because his head coach let him down. He was crying because he let his teammates down. And he said so. He said as much. Now, the teammates, all those are good guys, and they said, oh, no, of course he didn't. He didn't let us down. It's the right thing to do. Right. But they weren't in that position in the locker room crying because of a scheme.
They haven't taken accountability for their part.
Absolutely.
Right? Because players are going to take their accountability. We know that. Josh Allen got up there and said, hey, I didn't play my best. That's on me. Players understand that they haven't been their best all the time in these situations. Sean McDermott got fired. Hell, he ain't got no choice but to take accountability. He's let go. But then as a general manager, now promoted to president as well, and then for the owner, you got to take your accountability in this as well because roster construction is on y'all's hands.
Mm-hmm. Harry Douglas earlier on Freddie and Harry here on ESPN Radio. And what the Bills brass had to say Wednesday seemed to leave a lot to be desired to a bunch of folks. Earlier on the Rich Eisen show, Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk.
I don't think it was a great session, and it raises more questions than it answers. I think the idea of a press conference is you want to resolve questions. I don't think it resolved many questions, and I give the folks their credit. A lot of times we see the reporters that cover a team tiptoe around because you worry about access and relationships. They asked all the right questions. They did their duty on behalf of the fans who want to know how the hell we got to this point.
And speaking of bad looks, there was a question initially posed to Brandon Beane about the situation with wide receiver Keon Coleman.
The fact that you have not given Josh a good enough wide receiver.
Yeah, can I interrupt? I'll address the Keon situation. The coaching staff pushed to draft Keon. I'm not saying Brandon wouldn't have drafted him, but he wasn't his next choice. That was Brandon being a team player and taking advice of his coaching staff, who felt strongly about the player. And, he's taken, for some reason, heat over it and not saying a word about it. But I'm here to tell you the true story.
Keon Coleman catching strays on Wednesday at the press conference from Bills owner Terry Pegula, putting that situation at the feet of his now fired head coach. ESPN analyst Booger McFarland.
To me, that's finger pointing. I think that's something you don't do. I think a good sign of leadership is to even when you know you're right, you sit up there and you take one for the team. And today, Terry Pegula and Brandon Beane sat up there and they pointed the finger at Sean McDermott and his coaching staff. And oh, by the way, think about this. Keon Coleman is still on this team. Now, I'm not saying that Keon Coleman is not without fault. He's a young player. Young players are going to do things that you wish they wouldn't do. They're going to be late. It takes some time to develop. That's why young players grow into veteran players. So let's understand that. But if you're Keon Coleman right now, how do you walk back into the Buffalo Bills facility knowing that the GM doesn't want you, knowing that the owner may not want you? I thought today was a bad look for Buffalo Bills ownership. Terry Pegula, Brandon Beane, they sat up there today and they basically said, Keon Coleman, we didn't want you. The previous staff, they wanted you. How does that kid walk back into that building? I think one of the most desirable jobs in football, because Josh Allen, I think, is the best player in our sport. I think that job became a little bit less desirable today. And here's why. Do you want to go to work for somebody that's going to point the finger, realizing that it's Super Bowl or bust in Buffalo? Do you want to go to work for an owner that's going to point the finger, and when chips hit the fan, he's going to get up there and point the finger to other people? I think that's a situation that became very, very contentious today, to say the least.
Bills ultimately left Denver with a loss last weekend. Now they're looking for a new head coach. Still zeros in the loss column. That's next. SportsCenter all night. It's ESPN Radio.
College Basketball Saturday on ESPN Radio. It's an ACC Top 25 showdown.
3-on-1, lob it up and jam it down.
The 22nd ranked North Carolina Tar Heels head to Charlottesville to face the 14th ranked Virginia Cavaliers. Coverage begins Saturday at 1:30 Eastern with tip-off at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN. More SportsCenter all night coming up next.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Hey, Doc, nice office. Quick question. If you had to choose, would you give yourself a root canal or run payroll?
Run payroll, no question.
Seriously? Have you run payroll before?
Paying my team with Gusto couldn't be easier. Gusto gives me unlimited payroll runs, next day direct deposits, and automatically files my taxes. Saves me time.
Wow, that's nice.
Over here, Doc. Can I run payroll too?
Choose payroll without the pain. Visit gusto.com/small business to sign up for free.
Starting the year feeling good starts with proven fast hydration. Drip Drop is doctor-developed and trusted by over 90% of top college and pro teams to help your energy, focus, and mood click into place. It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of sports drinks, so you'll feel results fast without the crash. And with great flavors you'll actually crave, it fits into your daily routine anywhere, anytime. Right now, get 20% off your first order at dripdrop.com with code SPORTS. You know how car shopping usually feels like you're being squeezed into somebody else's process? Yeah, same. But finally, car shopping is made for you. Meet Car Gurus Discover, a new search feature where you can look for vehicles based on the way you think, using your own words. No more being boxed in by filters. Whether you're dreaming about great gas mileage for weekend road trips, or you need the extra trunk space for all the kids' gear, you just type it in, and Car Gurus Discover instantly shows you real shoppable listings that match your life. And when you actually head out to the lot, the Car Gurus app has your back with dealership mode, which is basically like having a super smart friend whispering helpful info in your ear. You can compare the car in front of you to similar options, check deal ratings and price history, and even estimate your final cost. It gives you everything you need to navigate the dealership with confidence. Plus, with more than 4 million listings, Car Gurus has the biggest selection of cars, making it easier than ever to find the right car and the right deal. No wonder Car Gurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site, according to SimilarWeb's estimated traffic data. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at cargurus.com. Go to cargurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's cargurus.com. cargurus.com.
This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jay Reynolds.
SportsCenter All Night presented by Progressive. Guests are on the Dr. Pepper call-in line.
The Patriots are in Denver for the AFC title game.
We want to win this for Bo. We all have a lot of confidence in Stiddy. Stiddy's a seasoned pro that's definitely ready for this opportunity.
They're coming off the field at their place with a win. I think it's pretty cool to celebrate. We had a tough challenge, but I think the guys will be pumped up and ready for it.
Championship Sunday, fast approaching. Significant part of the country may be snowed in, cozied up to watch these games. In the early window on Sunday, we get Patriots-Broncos in Denver, 3 o'clock Eastern time. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler with the Broncos.
The Denver Broncos are ready for the Jarrett Stidham show. And it's going to be a show, they believe, because of his playing style. Aggressive. Head coach Sean Payton said that Stidham is, quote, gonna rip it because that's his personality. The Broncos have found him to be a quick decision maker who isn't afraid to take chances downfield. They believe he's a starting caliber quarterback in this league, who just happens to be a backup on this team. The Broncos were devastated by the Bo Nix news over the weekend, but they've pivoted to supporting Stidham, who teammate Patrick Surtain says has the type of mojo, the type of confidence that you rarely see, and will help him shine in moments like this. Now let's send it over to Mike Reese with a report on the Patriots.
Jeremy, Drake May has 6 fumbles in 2 playoff games, and now he faces a Denver defense that led the NFL in sacks. He was asked today what he's doing to avoid more fumbles.
You'll be mindful back there and just know that, my job is to protect the football, and that's, every game. And I think, one of the biggest things with, the guys up front is my job to have a timer in my head, and those guys have done a great job all year. So, I haven't lost trust in those guys up front, and I know that we faced some pretty good edge rushers, in the past couple of weeks, and I know we got a good, another good set of edge rushers coming up this week.
May said the work started today in practice, and I was there. I saw him holding 2 hands on the football as he worked on escaping the pocket.
As you heard, Patriots have struggled in pass protection. Broncos lead the NFL in sacks. ESPN analyst Jeff Saturday.
First of all, the last 2 teams, or the 2 teams that are playing last week and this week, are nightmares anyway. So, you got the best edge guys. They're pushing pressure. You have a young guy in Campbell going to try to take the edge. But the reality is they're going to get some kind of pressure. It's making sure from an offensive line perspective, you keep your body between he and the QB. Make him reach over you. Make him do those kind of things. And then it's on Drake May to protect the football when he's in the pocket. Keep two hands on it. Be strong. Don't let those strip sacks. What you don't want to do is get on the edge and get driven all the way back and give up these free shots. Like that's the worst thing. But if you're talking about strictly from an offensive line perspective, be aggressive in your set. Make the guy run the long way around, whether you're guards or tackles. Make him go the edge, and May's going to have to be strong in the pocket, stepping up, not just trying to run outside and push the ball down the field. But the reality is they're facing the two best groups in the AFC the last 2 weeks. Some guy, they're on scholarship too, you know what I mean? So they're going to get home at some point.
We'll see how it plays out in Denver on Sunday. Patriots and Broncos in the AFC Championship. SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio. We started this week with 3 unbeatens remaining in men's college hoops. Tuesday, Miami of Ohio needed overtime, but they go to 20-0. Wednesday, the other 2 in action, including top-ranked Arizona.
Shot up, missed, no good. Pete the Arizona rebound. He'll lead the break the other way for the Wildcats. 2-1. Karchinkov will lead up and good.
Speaking of fast breaks, how about Cole Pete leading the break?
He loves to rebound and run. 56-44. Arizona's biggest lead of the ball game. Shot clock is off, and the Wildcats will dribble this one out. They go to 19-0, at least temporarily take over sole possession of first place in the Big 12 with a 6-0 record. And back here on Saturday to host West Virginia at high noon. Final score, McHale Center, Arizona 77, Cincinnati 51.
A call on Wildcats Radio. Arizona with the win improves to 19-0, longest win streak at any point of a season since starting 21-0 in 2013. The other unbeaten, also in the top 10, 7th-ranked Nebraska.
And Brett Hale bringing up the floor.
Crowd wants a hook and hold there by Steinbach.
Jamar, Price Sanford, Berkay with it up top. Back to Price, who lays it in, the give and go. The old-fashioned give and go, and the layup by Price. He's got 23. Folks, capacity crowd, sellout, PBA, Big Ten basketball on the radio. There's the horn, there's the game. And you're 19-0. Nebraska Cornhuskers. Yes, I said 19-0 and 7th ranked. Nebraska Cornhuskers beat Washington 76-66.
They're the first Big Ten team to start 19-0 or better since Ohio State in 2010. Nebraska extending their program record 19-game win streak. Husker Radio Network with the call. Nebraska one of 3 remaining unbeatens in D1 with Arizona and Miami of Ohio. SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio. 8th-ranked Gonzaga. Well, there's death taxes and wins over Pepperdine.
Shamani with the miss. Orness brings it up the floor over to Fogle. Davis driving baseline with his left hand, spins back to his right, looks in the paint for Holland, who lays it up and in. Beautiful look from Fogle. Holland has 2 more. It's all Zags the Kettle with 90 seconds to play.
Nice pass in the paint right there.
Tom Hudson calling it on Learfield. Gonzaga 84-60 win over Pepperdine. Zags 51st consecutive win over Pepperdine. Mark Few, 27th straight season with at least 20 wins. Well, straight ahead, infighting in L.A. SportsCenter all night continues. It's ESPN Radio.
Hey, this is Rich Eisen. Coming up on Thursday's show, former Pro Bowl offensive lineman Teron Armstead joins us in studio to break down the championship games and the latest on the NFL coaching carousel, plus our weekly hire register predictions. That's the Thursday edition of the Rich Eisen Show on Disney+, the ESPN app, and ESPN Radio.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-568-3344. 800-568-3344. 800-568-3344.
Quick break. Got your fire safety game plan? When it comes to your home, every second matters. That's why we trust Kidde smoke alarms. They're built to respond fast and cut down on false alarms, so you can act with confidence when it counts. And now you can upgrade to over 25% faster smoke detection with Kidde's latest technology. It's more time to react and more peace of mind. That's why Kidde is North America's #1 home fire safety brand. So whether you're upgrading or installing for the first time, go with the alarms that deliver performance when it matters most. Kidde, help protect what matters the most. Find it at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. 29% faster average smoke detection based on internal testing of smoldering wood fires for Kidde 9th edition versus leading competitor 8th edition products based on total household installations as of December 2023. Just like in sports, businesses succeed when you have the right free agent. With Robert Half's specialized recruiter's experience, combined with their award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Learn more at roberthalf.com/talent.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check if they're going for it on 4th down, before going to the concession stand.
Yeah, give me 3 hot dogs, 2 jumbo crisps.
Hey, buddy, you want cheese with those?
Yeah, checking first is smart. No. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jay Reynolds.
SportsCenter All Night. ESPN Radio, as always, taking you to 6 o'clock Eastern Time. That's when we have Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, Michelle Smallman, unsportsmanlike. 6 to 10 Eastern weekday mornings here on ESPN Radio.
Half-hour headlines on SportsCenter All Night.
Bills owner says he made a coaching change because the team lost last weekend and hit a postseason wall. SGA drops 40 as the Thunder beat Milwaukee. Knicks, largest margin of victory in franchise history.
Wolves straight on three-pointer is good. It's 120-66. It will not be the lowest scoring fourth quarter by a Knicks opponent, but it will be the largest margin of victory in the history of the New York Knicks franchise as they beat the Nets tonight 120-66.
880 ESPN New York. A 54-point win for the Knicks over the Nets. Jalen Brunson with our buddy Alan Hahn on MSG after the win.
Jalen, that's the largest margin of victory in Knicks history. What did you see tonight from your team that we haven't seen enough lately?
A win.
We could be a little more specific because you have talked the last couple of days about things that the team needed to do. So if there was one thing that you saw from the very beginning of this game when the tone was set in that first quarter, what was it?
Honestly, the way we play with energy from start to finish, it was a key for us. Obviously, when the shot's not flowing with us and during other games, we got to rely on something else. It has to be our defense, it has to be our energy. So we got to make that consistent. We got to keep doing that night in, night out.
What were the last couple of days like, though, for this team within the group?
A lot of soul searching and a lot of self-reflection. We got a long way to go to be the team we know we can be, but still a long season.
One thing we didn't get a chance to talk to you about that we found out on Monday, that you were voted a starter in the All-Star game. Second straight year, third straight All-Star appearance. What does it mean to you to be voted by the fans as a starter in the All-Star game?
Means more than, means the world to me. And I came here and not really know what to expect, but this place has embraced me. This fan base has embraced me. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
Knicks with the 54-point rout of Brooklyn. 13th straight win against the Nets. Jalen Brunson mentioning, though, that a lot of soul-searching in New York. Knicks went into the game having lost 9 of 11, but they get a 54-point pasting, holding the Nets to just 66 points. Hawks and Grizzlies on Wednesday.
Jalen Johnson brings it up. Hawks ahead by 1. Jalen way outside behind a pick. Now Jalen, over he goes to Nickeil. Nickeil swings the arms to try to get the foul, didn't get it. Now it goes Jalen Johnson with 7. Jalen now backing up with 4. 3, 2, foul line jumper. Jalen is good. Jalen Johnson with a huge basket. He's got 32, and the Hawks lead 124 to 121.
32 points, 15 rebounds, and 8 assists. Led the team in each of those 3 categories. 92-9 the game. Hawks beat the Grizzlies 124-122, snapping a 4-game losing streak. John Morant, 23 points, 12 assists in the loss for Memphis. Detroit topping the Pelicans.
Bounce pass to Duren. Duren whirling around, ducking under. Throws a shot up, no. Tapped up, no, by Thompson. Duren puts it back up and in.
He's looking for a foul.
Big-time battle on the boards, and it's 109-98 Detroit.
97-1 the ticket. Pistons 112-104 over the Pelicans. Zion Williamson left this one after 15 minutes with illness, did not return. Pistons 32 points off 19 Pelicans turnovers, and Detroit goes on to the win. Raptors getting a win over Sacramento.
Double comes. Chet to Barnes to Quickly. 3 straight away, good. 122, 109, Raptors by 13.
Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Raptors beat the Kings 122-109. All 5 Raptors starters scoring at least 15. Third time that's happened this season. Raptors beating the Kings on the heels of their win over Golden State, where they dropped 145 on the Warriors. NBA action tonight. Mavs hosting said Warriors. Coverage begins 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Mavs coming off that dominant win over the Knicks. Warriors were crushed by Toronto on Tuesday, and that on the heels of Golden State losing Jimmy Butler for the season, torn ACL. The disgruntled Jonathan Kuminga did play in that one, coming off the bench for 21. As for moving forward, ESPN analyst Danny Green.
I'd expect him to come in like a professional and say, still have that mindset of, I'm not here for you guys, I'm here for me. And it could be a FU type situation, but you got to go out and ball regardless. You got to show what you can do. You got to prove that not only to the group that you're with, but the other groups around the league. There's 29 other teams. Every time you step on that floor, you're interviewing for a job. And that's with your group for minutes or other people around you, other organizations looking at you. So if you want a trade and be where you want to be and be happy, you got to show the other people around the league that you are what you say you are and show that your contract is one of a steal. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a cheap deal. So you got to come in and ball out. And last night he did that. He had 20 and 5 in 21 minutes. He only played 5 minutes in the first half, but he's produced and he's showing production. You got to continue to do that and show that he's a valuable piece, not for the organization that you're currently with, but the other organizations around you that you want to be with.
Let's go to the other side. How should the Warriors approach the Kuminga situation with their roster, knowing obviously that Butler is out for the rest of the season? Kind
of the same. It's one and the same. They got to come in and they need him, so they got to play him. And if you want to also trade him, you only got 2 weeks. You got to build up his value as much as possible, especially if you want what you want in return. You got to make sure that you hold him at a high value if you want to get some high value in return. So if you're trying to trade him before deadline, cool, but you don't have a lot of time. And if you want to wait till the summertime, fine. But you got to build this player up. We also got to allow him to help you win. Everybody can use a young athletic wing that can score the basketball. Jonathan Kuminga is that kid that can do that for this group and for any other group out there. So if you want to keep your hopes alive of being in playoff contention and keeping Steph Curry there and a little more happy and kind of be in that talk, you got to uplift and kind of develop this young player and allow him to, to have this opportunity to help your group.
Warriors in Dallas Thursday night. NBA action here on ESPN Radio. Our coverage, 7 o'clock Eastern. Right now, SportsCenter all night. Quite the shakeup over the holidays within the Lakers organization. And it all came down right around Thanksgiving. Lakers were 15 games into the season. They'd won 11 of those 15. They were a couple of weeks removed from the Buss family completing the sale of the team to Mark Walter. $10 billion. Jeannie Buss stayed on as the team governor. But at the end of November, she fired her 5 siblings. Sister Janie denied the opportunity to resign rather than be fired. She said her dad wouldn't be happy with the way things have gone down. Their father, Jerry Buss, prior to his death, had wondered if he should sell the team early to avoid infighting among the 6 siblings. Those siblings separated in age by 3 decades. Sources also telling ESPN Jeannie Buss has grown frustrated with LeBron James. ESPN senior writer Baxter Holmes.
It's my understanding this has been festering for some time. If you go back to when LeBron joined the Lakers in 2018 through free agency, I was told that there was private grumbling from Jeannie about the way it was framed that LeBron was saving a floundering franchise when he joined, rather than him choosing to come there because it was a great front office and it was their kind of brilliance that they brought him there. Fast forward in some years, I heard about grumbling about at times his outsized ego or Clutch Sports, the agency that represents him, their control over the organization or seeking to exert control, feeling that he wasn't culpable enough or didn't take enough accountability for the failed Russell Westbrook trade. Told of multiple instances in which she talked about not wanting to sign him to a contract extension or feeling that he wasn't grateful enough, that the team didn't, when the team drafted Bronny James in 2024, even talking about trading him at one point. This is before he signed he got his no trade clause in 2024. So This has been an ongoing thing.
The entire article from Baxter Holmes. So many layers to it. Fascinating. It's on ESPN.com. So much going on. Earlier on ESPN Radio, our Clinton Yates.
The outsized ego thing is what you knew was going to be there. That's part of who LeBron James is. I said this at the time. Planet LeBron running in the Laker Nation is going to be a power struggle, period. A lot of that other stuff, though, it kind of feels like as the owner, you had some level of control over. And if you didn't want Clutch all over your franchise, you could have said something. You could have put your foot down. Pat Riley did it in Miami.
Yes.
As for, some of these other things, I don't know that the timing could possibly be worse, because the way that this is happening, LeBron's out here, saying, I'll play when I want to play. The team is what it is, but you just sold the squad. I don't feel that this is good for any of the cohesion whatsoever, because they're still trying to figure out who they're going to be. They're clearly in what I'll just call the post-LeBron era, even though he's on the team.
So much to the article with the Lakers and the change in ownership and the 6 siblings who have been fighting since their father's death a decade ago. It's on ESPN.com. Right now, Sports Center all night.
We head out to the NFC West, the NFC's best, the NFC Championship between the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks.
We have tremendous respect for this group. We know what it's going to take, and every single play and every single game is its unique own entity, and we got to be able to handle that accordingly.
They're a really good team. They play hard. They play together. They got really talented players. They got a great scheme. It's a great matchup. It's right where we should be at this point of the year.
You said that Seattle doesn't want to get in the shootout with the Rams. Why not? They already won a shootout with the Rams.
This will be the 3rd meeting of the season for the Rams and the Seahawks. Divisional matchup to decide the NFC and the right to move on to the Super Bowl. 3rd meeting, first 2 decided by a total of 3 points. ESPN's Lindsey Thiry.
The Rams are attempting something only 5 teams in NFL history have accomplished before, winning 3 straight road playoff games to advance to the Super Bowl. I asked receiver Davante Adams what he's learned about this group from their 2 playoff wins. Adams tells me it's all about the fight that they have, adding that none of them have been easy, and that only gives them more confidence as individuals and as a team. As for facing the Seahawks for a 3rd time, but now with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line, Sean McVay says they must caution against chasing ghosts in game planning. And remember, it's about good execution and fundamentals. While Matthew Stafford says their offense must communicate at a high level to have success at Lumen Field. Now to Brady with the Seahawks.
Thanks, Lindsey. Sam Darnold's health continues to be a big focus here at Seahawks headquarters. Mike McDonald told me today that the quarterback, quote, continues to get better, but he did say they will have to limit Darnold's throws in practice this week as he continues to manage the oblique injury he suffered last Thursday. Now, Darnold told me today that he felt great a day after playing through that injury against the 49ers, but he only attempted 17 passes in that game as the Seahawks began pulling their starters midway through the 4th quarter of their blowout win. On the other hand, Darnold averaged 39 passing attempts in the Seahawks' first 2 games against the Rams. That suggests that his injured oblique will get more of a test in round 3 on Sunday.
ESPN Analytics has this game roughly 50-50. Rams 46% to win the NFC matchup. As for the AFC, Patriots, Broncos in Denver. Broncos turning to quarterback Jarrett Stidham.
I think every week I've always, going back to when I was backing up Russ, I've prepared the same every single week like I am the starter. Just hasn't obviously been that way, minus 2 weeks. So my preparation hasn't changed one bit. And, yeah, that's just kind of how I view it.
And as for playing his former team?
Look, at the end of the day, obviously I'm very appreciative of New England for giving me a shot in this league, drafting me. Obviously, Bill's not there anymore, but I know there's still front office guys there that were there when I was there. Nick Caserio is down in Houston now, the GM. He was a big part of that too. Josh McDaniels, who obviously was my play caller. I mean, I've only had 2 play callers in my life, Sean and Josh. So super appreciative of them for sure. But really just fired up for the opportunity for these guys in this locker room. And, we're looking forward to Sunday and getting out there and, seeing what we got.
Jarrett Stidham, the Broncos' backup quarterback, stepping in to take over the offense for the AFC Championship game. He mentioned he preps every week as though he's the starter, but Hall of Fame quarterback Steve Young, does practice get you ready for a playoff game?
No. Like, there's a speed of the game, and we all, the guys that played a lot in the playoffs, there's a preseason speed, there's a first game of the year speed, it's more like playoffs, and then there's a regular season, and then there's a, first round to play, a second round. By the time you get the championship game, the intensity, the focus, Newt Rockney's famous, right? Because he made a speech and everyone emotionally that's what the championship game brings out, is this intensity that you cannot get ready for even if you played all year. It takes a second to kind of get used to it. And so he's running into a wall, and that's why I'm grateful that Sean Payton's there with him. They've got to be careful, because you lose championship games, any playoff game, you lose so quickly. A couple of bad series, a couple of turnovers, it's over. And so he needs to be very, very careful that he's not the reason they lose. That's his goal, is just don't make, if we lose, just make it not that he's trying to prevent accountability, but just I don't want to take away from the team. I don't want to be the reason. If you're asking him to be the reason they win, that's Rudy stuff, right? That's Hoosiers. That's insanity, right? Yeah. That's Mendoza stuff. No, I'm just kidding. But way too much to ask to have him kind of lean in a championship game and thrive. You can't do that from a standing start. No way.
So what are the expectations? Earlier on the Rich Eisen show, Hall of Famer Kurt Warner.
How does the team play? How does, Coach Payton call this game for him? He was up on the podium saying, I got great confidence in Jarrett and what he can do, and just watch and just wait. But a lot of that will be shown by how does he come out in this game? How do they play early? Does he give them opportunities to push the ball down the field, or call plays that are supposed to push the ball down the field and make some of those plays early? Or does he manage this game like I've seen him do with Bo a number of times, and specifically early in Bo's tenure, where it's a lot of bubble screens and a lot of quick, designed throws and completions early, allowing everybody else to kind of do the work as opposed to the quarterback and leaving it to the defense. So I'll be interested to see how that part of it plays out. But make no mistake, there is a lot of pressure here on Jarrett Stidham in this moment, just because of the magnitude of what it means for the other 52 in the locker room.
And we'll see how it plays out. Broncos, Patriots in Denver, a pair of 14-3 teams getting together for the AFC Championship. Seahawks 14-3. They will host the Rams for the NFC. Moving on, barely breaking a sweat. That's next. SportsCenter All Night at ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio, home of the World Series.
The Dodgers are World Series champions.
The NBA Finals.
The Oklahoma City Thunder 2025 NBA champion.
And the College Football National Championship.
Indiana Hoosiers national champions.
This is ESPN Radio. More SportsCenter All Night coming up next.
You know how car shopping usually feels like you're being squeezed into somebody else's process? Yeah, same. But finally, car shopping is made for you. Meet Car Gurus Discover, a new search feature where you can look for vehicles based on the way you think, using your own words. No more being boxed in by filters. Whether you're dreaming about great gas mileage for weekend road trips, or you need the extra trunk space for all the kids' gear, You just type it in, and Car Gurus Discover instantly shows you real shoppable listings that match your life. And when you actually head out to the lot, the Car Gurus app has your back with dealership mode, which is basically like having a super smart friend whispering helpful info in your ear. You can compare the car in front of you to similar options, check deal ratings and price history, and even estimate your final cost. It gives you everything you need to navigate the dealership with confidence. Plus, with more than 4 million listings, Car Gurus has the biggest selection of cars, making it easier than ever to find the right car and the right deal. No wonder Car Gurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site, according to SimilarWeb's estimated traffic data. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at CarGurus.com. Go to CarGurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's CarGurus.com. CarGurus.com. Quick break. Got your fire safety game plan? When it comes to your home, every second matters. That's why we trust Kidde smoke alarms. They're built to respond fast and cut down on false alarms, so you can act with confidence when it counts. And now you can upgrade to over 25% faster smoke detection with Kidde's latest technology. It's more time to react and more peace of mind. That's why Kidde is North America's #1 home fire safety brand. So whether you're upgrading or installing for the first time, go with the alarms that deliver performance when it matters most. Kidde, help protect what matters the most. Find it at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. 29% faster average smoke detection based on internal testing of smoldering wood fires for Kidde 9th edition versus leading competitor 8th edition products based on total household installations as of December 2023.
Hey, Doc, nice office. Quick question. If you had to choose, would you give yourself a root canal or run payroll?
Run payroll, no question.
Seriously? Have you run payroll before?
Paying my team with Gusto couldn't be easier. Gusto gives me unlimited payroll runs, next day direct deposits, and automatically files my taxes. Saves me time.
Wow, that's nice.
Over here, Doc. Can I run payroll too?
Choose payroll without the pain. Visit gusto.com/small business to sign up for free.
Starting the year feeling good starts with proven fast hydration. Drip Drop is doctor developed and trusted by over 90% of top college and pro teams to help your energy, focus, and mood click into place. It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of sports drinks, so you'll feel results fast without the crash. And with great flavors you'll actually crave, it fits into your daily routine anywhere, anytime. Right now, get 20% off your first order at dripdrop.com with code SPORTS.
This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jay Reynolds.
SportsCenter All Night, presented by Progressive Insurance. And now a Progressive ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Drivers who switch to Progressive could save big. See if you could save. 1-800-PROGRESSIVE or Progressive.com. Australian Open. No trouble for the 4th seed on the men's side. Novak Djokovic in round 2.
Showcase here for Novak Djokovic, who is about to move into the 3rd round here.
I think at the end of the day, he'll be satisfied that he got out of here unscathed. Never threatened.
Match point.
Looks perfectly fine.
Djokovic, the 4th seed, straight set win for his 399th major match win, already the most by any man or woman all time. He wins it 3-2-2. Same score as the 8th seed, Ben Shelton, who advances to round 3, reaches the 3rd round of a 10th consecutive major. Speaking of Americans, on the women's side, 6th seed Jessica Pegula moves on in straight sets. Love and 2. 5 total games is what she's dropped in the first 2 matches. Lost just 2 in advancing to round 3. SportsCenter All Night, ESPN Radio. College hoops, women's side, number 3 UCLA sneaks past Purdue, 96-48. 48-point win is the program's largest against a conference opponent in the last quarter of a century. SportsCenter All Night, ESPN Radio.
Sports SportsCenter all night.
Oh my goodness! Check it out on SportsCenter tonight.
Today's top sound.
How good is that? Are you entertained?
Number 5.
College hoops still has 3 unbeaten teams. Miami of Ohio's 20-0, Arizona, Nebraska 19-0. Illinois, meanwhile, has an 8-game win streak thanks to a 30-point night in their win over Maryland. Brian Barnhart from Learfield.
Stojakovic to the right wing, cuts down the lane. Floater, got it. Counted and one. And he's fouled. 2 more for Stojakovic. And Elijah Saunders could only foul him. Could only hope to contain him.
Number 4.
To the NBA, which saw the Knicks post the largest margin of victory in franchise history. 880 ESPN New York.
It will not be the lowest scoring fourth quarter by a Knicks opponent, but it will be the largest margin of victory in the history of the New York Knicks franchise as they beat the Nets tonight 120-66.
Number 3.
Cavaliers scored only 94 points, fewest in a win by a team this season, but they made them count. WTIM.
62-47 with 7:10 to go here in the third. Lob down, pow! Donovan Mitchell threw it to the rim, throw to the fro.
That's how you make your teammates better. Great pass.
3 straight field goals from Jared Allen.
Number 2.
Cavs beating the Hornets, who did get 24 from Brandon Miller, WFNZ.
Mitchell straightaway 3 off the back iron, rebounded by Brandon Miller. Hit head pass, Grant Williams, cross court, LaMelo finds Miller. Miller a for takeoff, and he'll spike it. It's Miller time. A 17-point third quarter.
Number 1.
On the ice, Red Wings go to 7-1 in their last 8. The last 3 have been wins, including taking Toronto to overtime. The legendary Ken Cowell, 97, won the ticket.
And now Sider comes away with the puck to Larkin in front with a shot. He scores! Dylan Larkin wins it in overtime, but the play was made by Mo Sider. Final score in Toronto, the Red Wings 2 and the Maple Leafs 1.
Detroit's 10th overtime or shootout win this season. Canucks snap an 11-game winless streak. They beat the Capitals 4-3, get their first win since December 29th. NFL, Niners say they will indeed move on from wide receiver Brandon Ayuk. Vikings have a new contract with defensive coordinator Brian Flores, so he'll be back if he doesn't get a head coaching job. Former Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel likely to land the Chargers offensive coordinator job. ESPN's Field Yates.
I actually think that Mike is a very capable head coach. I believe that he goes to Los Angeles, and this is like a home renovation, guys, right? It's like, it's not that you tear down the house, it's that you redo the interior of it, because this Chargers offense has the bones to be really good. The wide receiver room this past year was inconsistent, but there's talented pieces at wide receiver. They have a good young tight end. They have an awesome quarterback in Justin Herbert. The running game just needed a big-time reboot, and they needed to get healthier as well.
McDaniel would fill the vacancy left when Greg Roman was fired after the playoff loss to the Patriots. Well, that's going to do it for SportsCenter all night. I'm Jay Reynolds. It's Thursday, January 22nd, birthday of Caitlin Clark.
I got a fever.
Wrong fever. Anyway, Caitlin Clark's birthday, unsportsmanlike, is next. It's ESPN Radio.
Up on the Thursday edition of Unsportsmanlike with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and me, Michelle Smallman. We know Fernando Mendoza will be the #1 pick in the draft, but just how long will it take for Mendoza and the Raiders to have success? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happens. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check Kirk Herbstreit's pregame analysis first, before talking to your brother-in-law.
In this game, the key thing to watch will be the offensive line versus their front seven. If they can get pressure without blitzing, this could be a long night.
Okay, Kirk.
I know stuff.
Ooh, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Just like in sports, businesses succeed when you have the right free agent. With Robert Half's specialized recruiter's experience, combined with their award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Learn more at roberthalf.com/talent.
I'm Serena Williams, and I'm healthier on Row. I've lost 34 pounds in a year with GLP-1s, diet, and exercise. On Row, you can access GLP-1 options, including the first FDA-approved GLP-1 pill for weight loss. Go to row.co/Williams to see if you qualify. 14 to 20% average weight loss in 1 year in non-diabetics with obesity or overweight with a weight-related medical condition versus 2.2% to 3.1% in placebo arm. RX only. To stay informed about serious side effects, go to row.co/safety.
Welcome back to Yeah, That's a Pepper Thing. First up, we've got Harrison wrapping his Dr. Pepper in a tiny quilt so it feels at home. Oh, how tender. That's a Pepper Thing. And over to Becca, who's whispering affirmations to her can.
You're sweet. You're unique. You're the best thing I ever poured over ice.
She swears it makes it taste better. It's not a science thing, but it's a Pepper Thing. Why do they all do it? All for that sweet, delicious, truly one-of-a-kind taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a Pepper Thing.
ESPN app. Unsportsmanlike with Evan Canty and Michelle.
My decision to bring in a new coach was based on the results of our game in Denver. I saw the pain in Josh's face. I know we can do better.
Josh felt like he lost that game. They weren't in the locker room crying because of a scheme.
Sean McDermott deserved better. It's a disastrous situation when the owner implies that they decided to fire the head coach because they lost that game.
Okay, welcome to the show here on Sportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio. ESPN2, we are presented by Progressive Insurance. You can be a part of Unsportsmanlike Nation on the Dr. Pepper call-in line at 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. ESPN Nation presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a Pepper thing. Drama in Buffalo, along with Michelle Smallman, Courtney Cronin, in for Chris Canty today. Good morning, everybody. How are we doing today?
Doing
better than Terry Pagula, that's for sure.
Yeah, not good in Buffalo. Not good in Buffalo. I'm doing okay, though, on this Thursday. A little cold in here, but otherwise.
So go make it warmer.
Well, I'm all plugged in now.
It's only going to get colder in the Northeast. Massive snowstorm en route this weekend into next week.
To start Sunday morning, right?
Yeah, I don't know all the details, but I've been looking into it to try to figure out to make sure we're all safe and sound, to make sure we're on the air on Monday and everything like that.
Right.
But it's supposed to be an enormous snowstorm. And I don't know, a lot of times the meteorologists get a bad rap, like, oh, they always get it wrong.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying this time they're not getting it wrong. Like, this is done deal. I don't know how people know that.
I've heard that a couple times before.
Yeah, exactly. How do people know? Why are you looking at me like this?
Well, no, I'm just thinking that it's so annoying that it would happen on Sunday and not Saturday, so that it could be over by Sunday, so that by the time we come to work on Monday, it's not a problem.
You think that's how, like, it works? Like,
I'm just like, Mother Nature's a bit annoying with the timing here.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway,
But also good, though, that you'll be snowed in to watch conference championship games.
Heck yeah. Is there anything? I was thinking it's actually perfect timing. You can't leave your house on Sunday, so now you have all the excuses to sit on the couch from noon till about 9 p.m.
Wrong answer for me. I have to now leave there's no way I could get here if I don't leave my house on Sunday.
Oh, you're going to have to stay in a hotel?
I think so. I don't know. We're working on that part of it. But then I just started having this memory of last year. I think I may have stayed over last year, and there was a snowstorm I feel like there was a snowstorm on the day of Eagles Commanders, and then what was it last year? Now I forgot off the top of my head.
Bills
Chiefs. Yeah, same day, obviously. I think that there was a snowstorm for that in the Northeast, and I think I had to stay over that night as well. So maybe it's an annual thing, conference championship sleepover for me with no one, actually, in a hotel. Anyway, yes, you guys said it's not going particularly well in Buffalo. Well, yesterday, let's start with this. Let's give them credit for actually getting up there and meeting with the media, right? And having a message to the fans. Now, if you're a Bills fan, you may have rather they take the New York Knicks Leon Rose approach of don't meet with the media ever, because then if you don't meet with the media, you can't say anything that you regret, and your fans don't get a bad impression of you because you actually say nothing. They fired Sean McDermott the other day. Terry Pegula owns the team, and he got up there yesterday and explained why the Bills made a coaching change.
My decision to bring in a new coach was based on the results of our game in Denver. If I can take you into that locker room, I felt like we hit the proverbial playoff wall. I just sensed in that locker room, like, where do we go from here with what we have?
And why would you fire a coach based on a bad officiating?
I did not fire a coach based on a bad officiating decision. If I can take you into that locker room, I felt like we hit the proverbial playoff wall.
Okay. I get what he's trying to say. No one's going to take a moment to think about what he's trying to say, because logically, if he just simply said the game on Sunday was a culmination of these factors and we couldn't move on any further with this regime this way, that makes sense, Smalls. What he said was the game on Sunday, as if one game decided someone's outcome after 9 years.
Yes, that's what he was intimating. That result, that playoff wall, is what resulted in Sean McDermott no longer being the head coach. And what I can't understand is if you think your team hit the playoff wall, that to me would signal holistic changes. That would not just say, okay, from a coaching standpoint, we have hit the playoff wall. It's from a personnel standpoint we have as well. So the whole thing that I cannot understand about the Buffalo Bills and Terry Pegula and what he has done here is to say it is solely Sean McDermott's fault that we hit this playoff wall, but Brandon Beane is absolved of all of this, and we're going to promote him, and he's going to hire the new head coach, and that coach is going to report to him. Not only is he promoted, he's not hiring another general manager, so he's going to take on all these responsibilities. So he's totally safe and had nothing to do with this. But Sean McDermott, the guy who brought us 91 wins over the past 7 seasons, he's the one to blame. It makes no sense to me.
There's a reason this is the first time he's talked in 6 years and will probably be the last time he talks, maybe ever, publicly, because this was a mess. I was driving, so I left the show a little early yesterday because I had to get to my own season-ending press conference, and usually, last couple of years, the Chicago Bears have had some that raise about as big of eyebrow raises as the ones that we saw out of Buffalo yesterday. That was tame compared to what we witnessed here. So I'm starting to see all the tweets come through of, I fired him based on the Denver game, and there was a bad call in that game. And then he says that he didn't fire him based on the bad call. All of these things didn't line up. There'd be speaking out of one side of your mouth and then speaking out of the other side of your mouth. And I just felt like any time that Brandon Beane tried to get this thing back on track, Terry Pegula had to interject and give his own thought on what had happened. And I thought it was really unfair. Obviously, the treatment of Sean McDermott here and making it sound like coaching is the reason that this team has failed in the playoffs again and again. Did not say anything about the front office, absolved Brandon Beane of everything, including the decision to draft Keon Coleman, which I thought was really unfair, and that the owner showed you, unfortunately, you didn't want to know this part of him and know who he is at his core. He showed you the worst of him. And that's really unfortunate because Keon Coleman, you can think what you want about him on the field, his shortcomings, the drop passes that have happened throughout this season and coming up short. He's 22 years old. He didn't deserve the treatment that he got to be made an example of unfairly in that press conference yesterday by an owner who claimed that the general manager was being a good sport and a team player and that it was only the coaching staff that wanted this guy. You're standing up there as the owner of this team showing all the ugly parts of an NFL franchise with how you value players as commodities. The way that he spoke about him was just so ugly and mean-spirited. And I'm sure he didn't mean for it to come across that way, but you're the owner of the team. You've got to know better. But this is ultimately, guys, the reason why we don't hear that many owners publicly getting in front of a mic, because more times than not, they put their foot in their mouth, and he did that multiple times yesterday.
Yeah, and we will get to the Keon Coleman part of this because he had nothing to do with this press conference and then everything to do with the press conference, which we will get to, and you'll hear what Pegula had to say. It is amazing to me that people are in front of a microphone publicly in a press conference setting that is not meant to be entertaining. When we misspeak on our show, it can be entertaining because we are an entertainment-based product with obviously tons of information. When the owner of a football team is trying to have a press conference, I don't think the idea is to entertain, Smalls, and I just don't understand why it can't be straightforward and like they can't give answers that don't create any more controversy.
Okay, well, we do this with you sometimes where we do the fake presser. So can you be Terry Pegula and tell us how he should have answered here?
Okay, go. What's the question?
Okay, Terry, why did you fire Sean McDermott?
Sean McDermott came here 9 years ago, and we didn't know what to expect. We thought we had a good coach, and boy, were we right. He was a fantastic coach for 9 years. He took us places that the previous 20 years we did not get to. And because of his success, we looked at this team, and we thought we needed to get to the next level. Sean McDermott is going to be a great head coach next year and beyond in the NFL. We just thought for this team this year, we needed a change moving forward, and we cannot thank Sean enough for 9 great years here. And now it's time for a different voice in the locker room who can hopefully get us over the hump. And Sean, I have all the confidence in the world, like his mentor, Andy Reid, will have an amazing second stop.
If Sean McDermott is to blame, why is Brandon Beane not?
We are all to blame. I own the team. My wife and I own the team. We are the ones to blame. We did not do a good enough job to put a team in place to beat the Denver Broncos and to win a Super Bowl, which is our goal, because we have that guy at quarterback, and we should build around him every year to win a Super Bowl. Not one person to blame, all of us, but starts with the two of us.
So how much did the results over the weekend factor into this decision?
One game doesn't get someone hired or fired. A culmination of all of the seasons together and our expectations would get somebody hired or fired.
Why should the fans trust that this is the right move and that you're going to make the right hire and Brandon Beane is the person to make that hire?
Fair question. It's the same question that fans could have asked us 9 years ago. We got that one right, and we hope to get this one right as well.
And finally, your thoughts on Keon Coleman?
I don't evaluate talent. That's not my job. My job is to put the people in place to evaluate the talent.
You would have aced that, Evan Pegula.
Why is that so hard?
And why
Evan Pegula?
Evan Pegula. So here's what like, you talk about these press conferences not being made for entertainment purposes.
They're not, but we're entertained.
I get that. Steve Bisciotti the other day, I do wonder, because we were all praising him for the honesty and how he handled that press conference in Baltimore, and he was very honest about he would have, John Harbaugh would not have been brought back had they won that final game in Pittsburgh, regardless of the outcome. So I don't know if Terry Pegula saw that and was like, hey, he handled it this way, I'm going to go and give them the realest dose of honesty that I can provide, because I think he thought he was doing being as honest and transparent and doing all the things that we want NFL owners to do, but they never usually do because they're never usually in this position to speak this freely, even though they are the owners of the team. I just don't think that most of these people are trained properly to think the way that you did in the questions that Michelle in rapid fire fashion asked you, where it's giving the PC answer, giving you something, not a whole lot of substance behind it, but words that sound good together that at least provide some clarity on the situation than not. I think he tried to do the right thing. I don't want to think he's went in there with malicious intent. It's just that his honesty got in the way of it, like clouded the situation in Buffalo and made it look a whole lot worse than it is, because usually this is one of the more stable franchises. Like, we never talk about the Buffalo Bills being a hot mess, not in the last 9 years.
No.
And he just brought them back down to ground zero, where they've got to build their credibility up, because there's so much here that just looks really ugly. And the way that is that attractive to head coaching candidates when the owner just handled it that way? Like, you think that's going to make people want to come there and be your head coach? Obviously, you're lucky you have a great roster. You have a great quarterback. But, I mean, if I'm a head coaching candidate and the owner's talking like that, I'm probably thinking, that this is not as slam dunk of a job as it might have been 2 days ago before he opened his mouth.
That we got to continue.
Yes.
Because that I vehemently disagree with. And Courtney, your take is the take of many after yesterday. But I will say, the press conference yesterday allowed Courtney Cronin, an unbelievably informed, experienced reporter and host, to have that, even though I disagree, they gave her the opportunity to have that take right now. And that is a problem in itself. What was Courtney referring to with a player in Keon Coleman taking strays yesterday? We will get to that coming up next. We're on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.
NBA Thursday on ESPN Radio. Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors are on to Dallas to face Cooper Flagg and the Mavericks. Coverage begins tonight at 7 Eastern, with tip-off at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Indeed.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HAWK to 321-321 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HAWK to 321-321. That's HAWK to 321-321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Quick break. Got your fire safety game plan? When it comes to your home, every second matters. That's why we trust Kidde smoke alarms. They're built to respond fast and cut down on false alarms, so you can act with confidence when it counts. And now you can upgrade to over 25% faster smoke detection with Kidde's latest technology. It's more time to react and more peace of mind. That's why Kidde is North America's #1 home fire safety brand. So whether you're upgrading or installing for the first time, go with the alarms that deliver performance when it matters most. Kidde, help protect what matters the most. Find it at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. 29% faster average smoke detection based on internal testing of smoldering wood fires for Kidde 9th edition versus leading competitor 8th edition products based on total household installations as of December 2023.
Okay, all signed up. Easy. Now let's run payroll. What the? Hey girl, I'm you with more gusto. Nice. Who's that? New social media manager, hired and onboarded with gusto. And spoiler, we're kind of famous now. Wait, we're famous? Oh, well, I'm famous. Payroll, benefits, and HR. Designed and built for small businesses. Choose a future with gusto.
You know how car shopping usually feels like you're being squeezed into somebody else's process? Yeah, same. But finally, car shopping is made for you. Meet Car Gurus Discover, a new search feature where you can look for vehicles based on the way you think, using your own words. No more being boxed in by filters. Whether you're dreaming about great gas mileage for weekend road trips, or you need the extra trunk space for all the kids' gear, you just type it in, and Car Gurus Discover instantly shows you real shoppable listings that match your life. And when you actually head out to the lot, the Car Gurus app has your back with dealership mode, which is basically like having a super smart friend whispering helpful info in your ear. You can compare the car in front of you to similar options, check deal ratings and price history, and even estimate your final cost. It gives you everything you need to navigate the dealership with confidence. Plus, with more than 4 million listings, Car Gurus has the biggest selection of cars, making it easier than ever to find the right car and the right deal. No wonder Car Gurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site, according to SimilarWeb's estimated traffic data. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at CarGurus.com. Go to CarGurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's CarGurus.com. CarGurus.com.
Evan Canty and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
We worked together, but any sense at all that he was on a power play, he would have been gone.
For somebody to question my character is BS.
I think what Buffalo did was a freaking joke. To promote a guy who was responsible for the roster, that to me is an absolute joke.
If you're a coach looking at situations, you certainly are like, all right, this guy just got promoted when his coach got fired. What does that mean for my standing already starting out?
You've opened a massive can of worms.
Unsportsmanlike is presented by Progressive Insurance, making it easy to save money when you bundle your auto policy with home, condo, or renters. You'll earn a multi-policy discount. Easy to bundle, easy to save. Visit Progressive.com for more information. Along with Michelle Smallman, Courtney Cronin in for Chris Canty. Today, Evan Cohen with you. The Buffalo Bills very much in the news after their big presser yesterday with the owner of the team, Terry Pegula, the general manager or team president, whatever he's called now, Brandon Beane.
He's the man in charge.
He's the man in charge. And they discuss why Sean McDermott is no longer there. We're going to get to Courtney's point about this job being less attractive, but let's also give you more ammo for Courtney's point as to what happened yesterday. So Brandon Beane, you're going to hear this, was asked the question about Keon Coleman, the wide receiver who was suspended multiple times or healthy scratch because of whatever actions that were not in line with what the team was looking for. And, you will hear Terry Pegula, the owner of the team, in a question that was directed to the general manager, intercept that question right now.
Yeah, can I interrupt? I'll address the Keon situation. The coaching staff pushed to draft Keon. I'm not saying Brandon wouldn't have drafted him, but he wasn't his next choice. That was Brandon being a team player and taking advice of his coaching staff, who felt strongly about the player. And, he's taken, for some reason, heat over it and not saying a word about it. But I'm here to tell you the true story.
Lies, 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 and more lies.
Oh, boy.
Go ahead. It's not his place to tell the true story. Like, he just undercut the man that he put in charge of not only the roster here, which is funny that he's like, you're in charge of the roster, but it was the coaches who decided on Keon Coleman, that they had the biggest say here, which we know as a video that surfaced from the combine. I want to see the year that Keon Coleman was drafted 2 years ago when Brandon Beane said, I'm glad he ran a 4.57 40-yard dash. It'll help to get him. That was 2 months before the draft in 2023. So apparently he had nothing to do with it, but he was co-signing and endorsing it this entire time. Like, for the owner to then step in and step in it in a big way is the reason I feel the way that I do, guys, this morning about this job being less attractive than it might have been 48 hours ago. That is so uncalled for. And you just promoted this guy and gave him even more power over personnel and the roster and the decisions that'll be made. Yet you said, like, one of the bigger ones that you made was the first-round pick 2 years ago had nothing to do with him? That's alarming.
It has nothing to do with him. He's the general manager. He's the general manager of your football team. Even if there was dissension in the ranks between the coaching staff and the front office about this pick, and as Courtney illustrated, I don't know if they remember that these videos exist and that the internet is full of sleuths just ready to pull up receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots at any time, and they found it yesterday. But I don't know how you as an owner and as a boss can completely absolve your general manager of a pick that he made. That is quite literally his job. And so if he was so opposed to it and the coaching staff was so in favor of it, I don't know how you can go ahead and make that pick. And I don't know why that wasn't something that was brought up earlier. The whole thing reeks of betrayal. It reeks of a power struggle. This is like a Succession type deal that's happening within the organization where the front office and the coaching staff are clearly at odds, and the front office won. They won this battle. But guess what? Now, any head coach that's out there that is going to come to Buffalo is going to say, okay, wow, Josh Allen is there. So obviously this is a place where I think I can have a certain amount of winning. But what sort of real power am I going to have? Am I going to be able to go into that room and convince the owner that my side is better if Brandon Beane doesn't want to go down the path that I think is best for this football team? How much time am I going to have to build this team in the way that I want to if somebody like Sean McDermott, who's had a ton of success, including playoff success, is out the door and now taking the fall for choices that the general manager is responsible for? I still think it's an attractive job because of Josh Allen and because of a roster that should be playoff ready. Now, is it Super Bowl ready? That's a completely different discussion. But you just went up there yesterday and made a job that should have been number one on everyone's board of jobs that's available and gave prospective coaches pause. And why would you do that? Why?
Big baller Bean.
Smalls.
Big baller Bean.
Smalls made her point. Courtney, make yours as to why you think this, because you made the statement that they voluntarily, maybe inadvertently, made this job, a job where you get to coach Josh Allen in his prime, less attractive. Explain.
Well, you heard the drop there, Big Baller Bean. So that's from Vic Carucci, who we had on yesterday. He's covered the Bills forever. He knows what's going on inside that organization. When he put out the tweet right around the time of the press conference that I wouldn't be surprised if the pairing is Joe Brady, who is the current offensive coordinator, has been with the organization for several years since he left Carolina, if he would be the head coach, and then Brian Daboll, former offensive coordinator, coming back as OC, that pairing and all the other names that you hear linked to this job right now, throw them out the window. I agree with that because I don't think that anybody else would want to come in and be a part of this dumpster fire right now, which is a strange thing that I'm saying because Buffalo worked so hard from 2018 onwards to not be viewed as a dumpster fire anymore. And that went out the window yesterday. Their credibility, the class, all of the things that we associate with this organization, the stability. It's on shaky ground because of how the owner handled things. So I think the way that this gets handled is not by going and thinking outside the box, who's the best name that we can bring in some fresh perspective, because that's ultimately what they need. If you're hitting this proverbial playoff wall, which is what the owner called it, wouldn't you think that within the organization it might have become a silo, might have become everybody's thinking the same, groupthink, if you want to call it that, about how to get past this? Maybe the best idea is outside of your building. They're not going to be able to do that now because I think there's more head coaching candidates out there who are going to view this situation as untenable because you have a general manager who and vice president of football operations, whatever his job is, that has basically been told he's untouchable. Nothing can ever happen to Brandon Beane. He's never going to get blamed for anything because of how we heard the owner speak about him. So I'm a head coaching candidate. If I sign up for that, everything's going to fall on me. That is what the owner told you with his actions yesterday. Who the heck would want to do that? Their best option is to promote Joe Brady, to bring Brian Daboll back, people who have been in the organization and know it and probably know how to handle the Pagula mess that we have here. Because I don't think there's anybody on the outside that is worth their salt as a head coaching candidate that's going to want to sign up to be the scapegoat, because that's ultimately what's going to happen when things go south.
Yeah, I disagree. I think there are coaching candidates that would pay the bills to coach the team. I think honestly, I think this is all like...
Because of Josh Allen?
Yeah, like we're talking about Josh Allen. Are the expectations through the roof? Yes. But we also see owners of teams change their allegiances based on the day, right? The Miami Dolphins, like, Chris Greer. Chris Greer's gone. Like, just gone, right? Like, all of a sudden, he's a general manager. Here's what will happen. If they are not successful with the next coach, Brandon Beane will go and the coach will stay. What they're going to do now is stagger for God knows how long. I believe coaches that are worth their salt would pay the bills to coach the team. I don't think anything that happened yesterday is going to take coaches that are good coaches away from the concept of I get to coach that guy, number 17, in his prime.
But, Evan, you're the one yesterday who said that this has got to be the best year one of all year ones of head coaches taking over jobs in history. Like, the amount of pressure that's on the head coach, whoever it is, coming in to get this team to a Super Bowl next year, on top of the fact that we've already heard how the owner feels about the general manager and that he's not going to ever be blamed for anything, that's even more pressure then. Like, how is that attractive?
I hear what you're saying, Courtney, and I think that they certainly stepped in it and made what should have been an easy thing for them incredibly difficult. But then I think back to an organization that historically had been maligned for not spending money, for not really being a great ownership group, for not going for it, and the Chargers. And who was out there that saw a quarterback that he wanted to coach? Jim Harbaugh said, I want that guy. And guess what? The Chargers did what they needed to do to make sure that Harbaugh had what he needed. And now listen, the playoff results have not been there yet, but he wanted to go there not because of ownership, not necessarily because of location, certainly not because of history. He went there because of who was under center. And I still think that a lot of people will be enticed to have the opportunity to win with Josh Allen.
All right, we got to keep this going because, I don't know a single candidate that would say no to the Bills job that's available. Like, not one. We can play this out if you want. I don't know a single candidate that would say no to the Buffalo Bills job. We'll do that coming up. Smallest first with H&R Block.
That's right, Evan. Because life is full of choices, some big, some tiny, some that make you wonder how you became the designated adult in your own life. And when you choose an H&R Block Tax Pro, you're choosing the biggest network of tax experts to ride shotgun with you. For when your big ambitions need help with the little stuff. For when your six figures come from, about 6 different side hustles. Or for when the gaming stream suddenly turns into an actual revenue stream. At H&R Block, they've truly seen it all, and they're here to help you make the most out of your money for life outside the box.
Big baller bean.
Hey, this is Rich Eisen. Coming up on Thursday's show, former Pro Bowl offensive lineman Teron Armstead joins us in studio to break down the championship games and the latest on the NFL coaching carousel, plus our weekly hire register predictions. That's the Thursday edition of the Rich Eisen Show on Disney Plus, the ESPN app, and ESPN Radio.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with their award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent. Starting the year feeling good starts with proven fast hydration. Drip Drop is doctor developed and trusted by over 90% of top college and pro teams to help your energy, focus, and mood click into place. It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of sports drinks, so you'll feel results fast without the crash. And with great flavors you'll actually crave, it fits into your daily routine anywhere, anytime. Right now, get 20% off your first order at dripdrop.com with code SPORTS.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check Kirk Herbstreit's pregame analysis first, before talking to your brother-in-law.
In this game, the key thing to watch will be the offensive line versus their front seven. If they can get pressure without blitzing, this could be a long night.
Okay, Kirk.
I know stuff.
Ooh, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Running a business? You know that slow phone systems and missed messages cost you opportunities. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, is the #1 business phone system that streamlines communication, helps teams collaborate seamlessly, and respond to customers 24/7 with their AI agent. Join over 90,000 businesses using Quo. Try it free, then get 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/ESPN, QUO.com/ESPN. They'll even port your existing numbers for free. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now, you call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Limited time 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.
I'm Serena Williams, and I'm healthier on Row. I've lost 34 pounds in a year with GLP-1s, diet, and exercise. On Row, you can access GLP-1 options, including the first FDA-approved GLP-1 pill for weight loss. Go to row.co/Williams to see if you qualify. 14 to 20% average weight loss in 1 year in non-diabetics with obesity or overweight with a weight-related medical condition versus 2.2% to 3.1% in placebo arm. RX only. To stay informed about serious side effects, go to row.co/safety.
NBA Thursday on ESPN Radio.
Circles in, goes out, has him on skates, to the rim, he scores! What a move by Steph Curry!
Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors are on to Dallas to face Cooper Flagg and the Mavericks.
Flag launches and drains it.
The Warriors at the Mavericks. Coverage begins tonight at 7 Eastern, with tip-off at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Indeed. This is Unsportsmanlike.
Smalls?
Well, this is your jam, Ev.
Oh, that's why you think we're playing this?
Yeah, this is your jam.
I do love this song, but care to share? People follow you on social media at M. Smallman.
I went line dancing last night, and one of the dances that we learned was to Pink Pony Club. It was very fun. Pink Pony Club. There was a Britney Spears line dance in there. Obviously, classics like Shania, Faith Hill. But you love this song, and I thought of you last night because I was like, Evan will never dance in public, but if he did, well, you won't do the Dougie for us.
Yeah, I won't do the Dougie on national television. That's correct.
But I thought if Evan was ever going to dance in public or around his teammates, this is probably the space he would do it because he can't resist this song, and we all learned the moves together. So it felt like your moment, but you weren't there.
I've also never seen you dance, so it's not like...
You've seen me dance.
No, you do.
Cece and I dance in the show every day.
No.
Courtney, the other Cece,
she does
probably
the eyes
would too.
closed dance. That's her big move. Anytime she's doing it now. She cannot dance without closing her eyes.
Yes,
it's a very interesting thing.
It's just you got to let the music take over.
It's hard to dance when you're sitting down, so she's just... I don't call that dancing. I call that vibing.
Thank you. It's more of a vibe.
You guys are young. If I said that, it would be awful. But yeah, I call that vibing. I would sound like the biggest loser of all time. You guys sound cool when you say it.
I thought you sounded just fine when you said it right there.
Oh, see, I didn't like it. Even you repeating what Courtney said, I didn't like. Come on, Ev. Hold on. If the Patriots win the Super Bowl, will you Dougie as the celebration?
No. What does one have anything to do with the other?
Because you'd be so pumped that you would just let the Dougie fly.
I'd be so pumped and so confused as to how they pulled this off so quickly. It's insane. It's really... Now, retroactively, we're going to look back and say, wow, the pieces were starting to form. It just really formed now, but it's still, I'm amazed that they're in it now, and obviously a very difficult test this weekend. Denver's awesome defensively. Stidham is a developing quarterback, and you got to be scared of the unknown there with him. Well-coached team.
That was nice of you.
Great deflection right there.
Yeah, he's nervous, but not really. He's trying to be polite.
He's just trying not to dunk on his opponent and be like, we're taking them lightly.
That's exactly right, Courtney.
Not at all. I follow the Patriot way. So.
And he knows that, what do you call him? What do you call Josh McDaniels? What's his nickname? Because you always have like the nicknames for the guy.
No.
Jules and Gronk.
Dola. That's your favorite.
So what's Josh?
No, that's just Josh.
Just Josh to him. Just Josh. But you know that Josh also liked Jarrett. So Jarrett Stidham. So that's why you're like, uh-oh.
That's right.
Well, Josh liked him, so maybe he's going to have some tricks up his sleeve.
All right. I want to go back to fighting with Courtney about something.
Oh, okay. Let me just sit back.
Big baller bean.
Courtney, you think that press conference yesterday with Buffalo would actually take a candidate that was interested in the job and say, I'm good? Like, what candidate that is out there now? Tomlin's not out there, right? Leave Tomlin aside. He's not actually out there. What candidate, if they were offered the Bills job, would say no? Tell me what candidate would say no to this job because of a press conference yesterday?
Someone like Davis Webb. So obviously...
What?
Can I finish?
Yes, go ahead.
So Davis Webb, there are 3 teams right now that I've been told that are fighting to get the first in-person interview with him. The Ravens being one of those teams. If you are potentially a first-time head coach, Davis Webb, in his mid-30s, Grant Udinsky, who's down in Jacksonville, would be a first-time head coach, not that much older than Josh Allen. Even Joe Brady, but Joe Brady's been with the organization, so put him aside for a minute. If you're a first-time head coach and you're young and you haven't been through this with an owner before, because your life becomes a lot different when you go from offensive coordinator to head coach. You're responsible for a lot more, including ownership interactions. Are you going to automatically think, yep, don't care what the owner said. Very clearly, he's aligning himself with Brandon Beane, his handpicked guy that can do no wrong in his eyes. He doesn't even get blamed for the players that he's drafted. You think you want to sign up for that when you might have other options available to you where you don't have an owner meddling in affairs? And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we knew Terry Pegula to be somebody who did that until we heard him speak yesterday. I know he owns the Buffalo Bills. I know he owns the Buffalo Sabres. And from what I've seen, Sabres fans have not been very happy with the way ownership has run that organization over the course since the time he's owned it. I just think that for young head coaching candidates, because I know, Evan, you're bringing up like anybody would want this job.
Yes, I do believe that.
We know of about 6 candidates, names right now that are actually being linked to this job. Anthony Lynn, former Buffalo Bill assistant. Brian Dable, former Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator. Joe Brady, their current OC. And then the 2 other names that I mentioned who are, with other organizations would be head coaching candidates for the first time in their careers. It's not like there's this huge pool right now. So we have to work off the names that we know. If I'm a young head coaching candidate and I know I have to get to the Super Bowl more or less in year 1, and I know that I'm going to be receiving the brunt of everything because of how he just aligned himself with the general manager publicly, I'm going to think twice when I have other options that might be just as attractive, if not more so now, because of the clown show that the owner created yesterday in Buffalo.
I'm glad you brought up the names you brought up, Court.
Thank you.
Every one of them has worked for the Bills. Every one of them has worked for the Bills and wants to work for them again. Very interesting. Anthony Lynn has worked for Pegula. Joe Brady has worked for Pegula.
Davis Webb didn't work for the Bills.
He played for them.
He was a quarterback there. He wasn't a coach. Very different to be a player than a coach.
He's employed by the person you're saying is now going to turn people off.
Yeah.
And every one of them is saying, take me back. One of them.
He'd be a first-time head coach. And when you have other teams like the Ravens reaching out, I think that you would think twice about where you'd want to go. And look, I want to make this clear. Josh Allen has no part of this for me. Like, I don't think he would. He's the only draw for that job right now. Like, I think that if he can cut through all of the owner's BS that he just laid out yesterday, they will get a great head coaching candidate. I told you, I agree with Vic Carucci. I think the guys on the team right now, and the easiest thing for them to do, the most likely thing for them to do is to promote from within. But I think that you have pause knowing what the expectations are and knowing how you're going to have to get everything 100% right in year 1 in order to not get fired by this owner. And yes, they don't go and fire coaches every single year. You do give them credit for the stability that they, allowed Sean McDermott at the time. Look, they weren't a great team early on. It took him a couple years before they made the playoffs after McDermott was hired. They had to develop Josh Allen. They had to develop the defense. But I think what we know right now is that this owner's not patient. He's made it very clear he's not going to wait around much longer after all of the playoff failures that he pointed out yesterday. That can't happen anymore. So you want to sign up for that knowing in year 1, if it doesn't go well, you're probably out of a job? Be my guest. I just don't think that that's the right play for anybody who's just starting their journey as a head coach.
It might not be, but also these people think that they are smarter than the person that was there before them. And you want to align yourself, of course, with ownership and the front office. But most importantly, if you're a coach, you want to align yourself with the quarterback. And who better to align yourself with than Josh Allen? I mean, he's the reigning MVP. We know how special he is. Yes, of course, terrible game to end the season in the playoffs this year. He's come up short in the playoffs. But if I'm a coach and I'm weighing.
Quick break. Tailgates are won before the food even hits the grill. That's why you need to go with Kingsford Original Charcoal. It lights fast, burns long, and brings that bold, smoky flavor every time. Since 1920, Kingsford's been the gold standard of grilling. If you're grilling for a crowd, it's the guaranteed way to get the W. Kingsford, the king of the tailgate. Get it today at the Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Compared to nationally available conventional charcoal in the USA.
You know how car shopping usually feels like you're being squeezed into somebody else's process? Yeah, same. But finally, car shopping is made for you. Meet Car Gurus Discover, a new search feature where you can look for vehicles based on the way you think, using your own words. No more being boxed in by filters. Whether you're dreaming about great gas mileage for weekend road trips, or you need the extra trunk space for all the kids' gear, you just type it in, and Car Gurus Discover instantly shows you real shoppable listings that match your life. And when you actually head out to the lot, the Car Gurus app has your back with dealership mode, which is basically like having a super smart friend whispering helpful info in your ear. You can compare the car in front of you to similar options, check deal ratings and price history, and even estimate your final cost. It gives you everything you need to navigate the dealership with confidence. Plus, with more than 4 million listings, Car Gurus has the biggest selection of cars, making it easier than ever to find the right car and the right deal. No wonder Car Gurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site, according to SimilarWeb's estimated traffic data. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at CarGurus.com. Go to CarGurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's CarGurus.com. CarGurus.com.
Okay, all signed up. Easy. Now let's run payroll. What the? Hey girl, I'm you with more gusto. Nice. Who's that? New social media manager, hired and onboarded with gusto. And spoiler, we're kind of famous now. Wait, we're famous? Oh, well, I'm famous. Payroll, benefits, and HR. Designed and built for small businesses. Choose a future with gusto.
Welcome back to Yeah, That's a Pepper Thing. First up, we've got Harrison wrapping his Dr. Pepper in a tiny quilt so it feels at home. Oh, how tender. That's a Pepper Thing! And over to Becca, who's whispering affirmations to her can.
You're sweet. You're unique. You're the best thing I ever poured over ice.
She swears it makes it taste better. It's not a science thing, but it's a Pepper Thing! Why do they all do it? All for that sweet, delicious, truly one-of-a-kind taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a Pepper Thing!
You didn't start a business just to keep the lights on. You're here to sell more today than yesterday. You're here to win. Lucky for you, Shopify built the best converting checkout on the planet. Like the just one tapping, ridiculously fast acting, sky-high sales stacking, champion of checkouts. That's the good stuff right there. So if your business is in it to win it, win with Shopify. Start your free trial today at shopify.com/win.
Unsportsmanlike with Evan Canty and Michelle.
Tune in for NBA action. Tonight, Mavs, Warriors. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. We are on Sportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2. We are presented by Progressive Insurance, along with Michelle Smallman, Courtney Cronin, in for Chris Canty today. Evan Cohen with you. If you log on to ESPN.com, as many of you, or your ESPN app, as many of you have or will do at some point today, you will see front and center, rightfully so, a huge story by a phenomenal writer and reporter, Baxter Holmes. She fired everyone inside the Buss family's $10 billion sale of the Lakers. There is so much family drama that has gone on with the Buss family over the course of time. I don't believe we have enough time in the 4 hours of this show to break down all of it, which basically, here's the thing. What is included? 6 siblings, maybe 7. That's not a 6-7 joke. I'm unclear as to if there is another sibling. I'm unclear as to who's everyone's parent. And the fact that in this story, one person said to another person, you should not have been born because of a promise made to a couple that wasn't a couple. I mean, one thing after another in this, okay? Now, from a sports perspective, the juicy stuff for us, take your pick. Choose your own adventure here. What would you like to talk about? LeBron's ego that Jeannie Buss, the majority governor previously, now that Mark Walter is, but let's just call her the majority governor forever of the Lakers. LeBron's ego that turned her off? LeBron not taking blame on Westbrook trade, which, by the way, is true. That LeBron was almost traded maybe to the Clippers. That LeBron is not grateful enough for drafting Bronny. That Clutch has too much involvement in the Lakers. Smalls, let's start with you. It's a choose your own adventure. Which part of this unbelievable story with LeBron and the Buss family, etc., caught your eye the most?
Well, to your point, there's just so much to choose from. This is a real buffet of content for us to select from here. But I think I want to isolate the thing that you just brought up about LeBron and the fact that they could have moved on from him prior to what we see now, because I think for so many of us sports fans, we think about LeBron and Clutch as having the ultimate power and them being untouchable. And we think of his presence within an organization on and off the basketball court as something that ownership kind of bows down to and that they appreciate so much that they would never consider life beyond him. So to think that it had reached such a breaking point, or a head, if you will, that they were considering moving on from him and what that would have done to the way that we talk about LeBron and perceive him, that to me was a very interesting part of this.
Yeah, this felt like the Red Wedding. It really did. Just the way that the takedown happened in all of this, whether it's Jeannie Buss taking down her own siblings from the reporting that we have here from Baxter Holmes, or her takedown of LeBron James, somebody who was actively on the roster.
Yep.
Like, usually stuff like this comes out years after a partnership ends, and we find out when people want to talk. They may not want to associate their name with it, like on the record, but you can tell where things are coming from. It usually doesn't happen when the entities of this story are still involved within the organization. And maybe this is the final straw where the partnership dissolves once and for all, because it's felt like, at least from the reporting here, that Jeannie Buss wanted this to end years before it snowballed into what it's become now, where LeBron James usurped so much power, him, Rich Paul, Clutch Sports, the whole entity that is the greatest player of this generation, everything that comes with him. And then all of a sudden, when the winning wasn't happening to the degree that Jeannie Buss liked or was expecting, then that's when things started to turn. So I just think this whole ego takedown, I had a hard time figuring out the answer to your question, Evan, of like, which direction do you want to go? Because all of it, the family infighting and showing what a $10 billion valuation of a franchise can do when one person usurps all that power. And then on top of it, the star player, the face of the league, getting cut down from the knees here. It's staggering how something like this happened, like the reporting of it happened while LeBron is still a Laker. And we know the problems that this team has right now with their lack of defense and obviously where the team is with JJ Redick and how he views his own team. That's like the least of their concerns right now after this thing came out.
I think this is an awesome thing for LeBron James.
Why?
I think this is a home run for LeBron James because if we're going to look at the 8 years LeBron has been with the Los Angeles Lakers, how would you deem them? Successful? Not successful enough?
Not successful enough.
He won a championship, but I know there's people who always put the asterisk next to the championship.
I would never do that. I mean,
some people do.
Right, but in general, like when separately, and I'll get to the statement here, separately, when basketball players are paid to play basketball, and the only thing that any of them are doing is playing basketball, to me, that is a great championship for LeBron, not an asterisk championship for LeBron. For me. Anyway, the reason I think this is a great thing for LeBron is now it places blame on everything else as to why his Lakers tenure, to use Smalls' terminology, was not successful enough. because I could look at it and really blame him on a lot of things. So many moves were his, from coaches to players to draft picks to Russell Westbrook. That going wrong, that was definitely on him. He took no blame for it. Baxter Holmes, the goal of this piece is to give fans an inside look at this insane drama that was going on in L.A., all while LeBron was there. And I think this gives LeBron cover for everything that has happened. Courtney's surprised, hey, the partnership's going to come to an end here. Like, this is probably going to mean LeBron and Jeannie Buss are not on the same page. LeBron never is on the same page with majority governorship. He intentionally...
I'm not surprised by that.
But he never wants to be. He was not a partner with Dan Gilbert the first time in Cleveland. He was not a partner with Mickey Arison in Miami. He was not a partner with Dan Gilbert the second time in Cleveland. And he's not been a partner with Jeannie Buss. His goal is not to be in partnership with governorship. And I've never understood that, because all of the great players, now maybe he saw Michael, but Michael didn't intentionally have a bad partnership with Reinsdorf and Krause. It fell apart, right, over the course of time. But look at Brady and Kraft. Look at Mahomes and Clark Hunt. These are Steph Curry and Joe Lacob. These are awesome partnerships. LeBron has never wanted to go down that path for whatever reason. But his time in L.A. I agree with Smalls, has not been successful enough. And now everybody says, well, why? Baxter Holmes gave LeBron ammo here.
How? Because in the article, it's outlined that they did certain things to appease him and that they weren't pleased that he wasn't grateful enough. But it's still acknowledging that they gave him the power for certain moves, a la Russell Westbrook and drafting Bronny.
Yep.
So it attaches him in a very public way to moves that did not work out, that he has tried to wash his hands of and say, I didn't have anything to do with the Russell Westbrook deal, but they drafted Bronny because they thought he was an NBA talent. It has nothing to do with me. So I don't know how this gives him ammo. If anything, I think it makes him more culpable for the lack of perceived, well, not lack of success. They won a championship, but
not
that it
successful
was
enough.
not successful enough in LA. To me, this ties him to it more than ever.
Yeah, I don't see how this doesn't make LeBron look bad. It makes everybody look bad. It makes Jeannie Buss look bad, but she's the one as we're seeing how this thing has been reported, she's the one driving this whole thing, and LeBron's the one who's been able to skirt responsibility for the moves that he's made, whether directly or indirectly in the franchise. And I said, to clarify, I'm not surprised about that. I'm surprised about this article and the timing in which it came out while he's still playing for the team. You usually don't see those things.
Right.
Usually it's got to be, like, I honestly would have expected something like this done in the year after he decides he wants to hang it up. Because that's when people will talk. Hell, that's why when he might talk too and have things to say about Jeannie Buss and how he feels. He was, maybe given the short end of the stick in Los Angeles. I don't see how you could spin that, but obviously he's going to not want to be culpable for some of these things. Because what was laid out was outsized ego. That was a direct quote that was thrown in there. Feeling Clutch had too much control in this. LeBron being considered a savior. Jeannie Buss didn't like that. Lack of accountability over the Westbrook trade. Not wanting to give him the contract extension, doing it because they feared a bad PR hit. Not feeling that he was grateful enough for drafting Bronny. The talks of trading him. All of those things that eventually we're going to hear LeBron's side on. But right now he's being painted out to be the bad guy. And I don't think that's all false, to be honest.
Oh, no, I think all of those things were previously known. I think what Baxter did an amazing job of was providing us detail and context around those things. And then the stuff that was not as known was on the Buss family side. My point is, we all knew that all of those things were playing out here. Like, the Lakers were terrible pre him getting there. I'm not saying that they're a championship contender now, but as Courtney said, they won a championship. We cannot take that away. That doesn't get erased, right? Drafting Bronny. Clearly they did not draft him because we're dying to have a 2-point per game scorer at USC.
But that's what he was trying to suggest, that he had really nothing to do with this. Same thing with Westbrook. So I don't know why you think that he's painted in a positive light here.
Oh, I don't think he's painting in a... No. Wait, hold on.
You said he had ammo.
I'm saying that what this is anyone who wants to blame LeBron for the Lakers era not being successful enough, what Baxter did was give you background as to why LeBron can blame others, which there's no one more passive-aggressive publicly than LeBron James, and I actually think he does that intentionally. So I don't actually know if in real life he's passive-aggressive. That's just his shtick and how he goes about it. Fit in or fit out, the whole Kevin Love thing. Like, there's so many versions of that. I just think LeBron is going to spin this ultimately as look what I did with what I was working under. Instead of I helped cause some of what I was working under here. Michelle Madness, next. We're on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.
We are back, and we are looking at a pretty lopsided matchup, Jim.
That's right, Ron. I mean, in one corner, we've got a 175-pound guy, and in the other, a 6,000-ton heavyweight train.
Jim, this guy has no idea what he's getting himself into.
It's no contest. Every day, people tempt fate and die trespassing on railroad tracks. See tracks? Think train.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Just like in sports, businesses succeed when you have the right free agent. With Robert Half's specialized recruiter's experience, combined with their award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Learn more at roberthalf.com/talent. Starting the year feeling good starts with proven fast hydration. Drip Drop is doctor-developed and trusted by over 90% of top college and pro teams to help your energy, focus, and mood click into place. It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of sports drinks, so you'll feel results fast without the crash. And with great flavors you'll actually crave, it fits into your daily routine anywhere, anytime. Right now, get 20% off your first order at dripdrop.com with code SPORTS.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check Kirk Herbstreit's pregame analysis first, before talking to your brother-in-law.
In this game, the key thing to watch will be the offensive line versus their front seven. If they can get pressure without blitzing, this could be a long night.
Okay, Kirk.
I know stuff.
Ooh, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I'm Serena Williams, and I'm healthier on Row. I've lost 34 pounds in a year with GLP-1s, diet, and exercise. On Row, you can access GLP-1 options, including the first FDA-approved GLP-1 pill for weight loss. Go to row.co/Williams to see if you qualify. 14 to 20% average weight loss in 1 year in non-diabetics with obesity or overweight with a weight-related medical condition versus 2.2% to 3.1% in placebo arm. RX only. To stay informed about serious side effects, go to row.co/safety.
Running a business? You know that slow phone systems and missed messages cost you opportunities. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, is the #1 business phone system that streamlines communication, helps teams collaborate seamlessly, and respond to customers 24/7 with their AI agent. Join over 90,000 businesses using Quo. Try it free, then get 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/ESPN, QUO.com/ESPN. They'll even port your existing numbers for free. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now, you call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Limited time 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.
The rankings are in from the Smallman Selection Committee.
That.
It's time for...
Hold on, wait for it.
Michelle Madness.
Madness! All is madness!
Yep, that's what the people want.
On Unsportsmanlike.
It's time for Michelle's Madness here on Unsportsmanlike, and Michelle's Madness is brought to you by Monster Energy. Ready to take it to the next level? Unleash the beast this college tailgate season with Monster Energy. Tear into a can of the meanest energy drink on the planet, Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. We're about to unleash Michelle's Madness here alongside Evan Cohen and Courtney Cronin. I'm Michelle Smallman. And our bracket today is head coach quarterback duos that you would want for the next 5 years. So keep that in mind. That duration of time influenced the committee's thought process when it comes to seeding. So are we ready, gang?
Yeah.
All right. First, the number 1 overall seed, Evan, you'll be pleased, Drake May and Mike Vrabel, versus the 8th seed, and some may find this a bit controversial, Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh. Ev, where are you going?
Controversial, why? Too low or on there at all? What are you saying?
People might think it's too low.
Yeah, I can understand that, but also they have work to do, and I think Mike McDaniel should help them. I don't think there's any question that you would take May and Vrabel right now, because I think May has surpassed Herbert as a quarterback, and I think Vrabel and Harbaugh, worst case scenario for Vrabel is a wash. But I think Vrabel, and they both have been insanely successful, like never really been bad for an extended period of time or ever. So I'll go with the Pats in that scenario over the Chargers.
I'll take the 1 seed here, too. You have a quarterback in year 2 of his rookie contract going to the AFC title game. Justin Herbert's already been extended. He's already become expensive. And no matter how you spin it, he's only going to get more expensive. So I'm going with the age factor here, and knowing that they've already achieved this much success in year 2. I'm buying low, selling high. Give me 1.
Okay, Drake May and Mike Vrabel. Moving on. This next one, I think, could be the most difficult matchup we have in the entire bracket. The number 4 seed, Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni, versus the 5 seed, Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love. Courtney, where are you going?
I'm going to take the one that you don't think I'm going to take. It's a higher seed. But there are not a lot of people who are going to look at Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts after this season and say that inspires a whole ton of confidence. And they don't have an offensive coordinator right now, because all their candidates keep taking jobs somewhere else or going to get interviewed somewhere else, and it looks like they're out on the Eagles. But Jalen Hurts has been to a Super Bowl 2 times. I know that he's going to be on to another offensive coordinator. It's a revolving door at that position, and the way that Nick Sirianni has handled this offense, especially this last season, doesn't lead you to believe that things are going to get back to that Super Bowl level in 2026 without a lot of work here. But I think it's because the pressure element and what they've done before. Remember, the season before they went to the Super Bowl and won it, they were 10-6, and then started out 10-1, fall to 10-6 on the season, or 10-7, whatever the final record was. And the pressure that put on Sirianni to get it right the following year is what got them to the Super Bowl. So I think they're going to feel that same level of pressure to get it right for the quarterback, to get it right for the offense, and ultimately that result will pay off next season.
This is easy. I'll take the duo that's accomplished something that I could see accomplishing more things, and that's Philadelphia. The duo of Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love, what do we think about with them? They should do this. They're capable of doing that. Wait till this happens. None of it has actually happened. So until I see it happen, they haven't won a division together. Do I think that they both could be awesome? Yes. Do I think we could play this tape back a year from now with egg on my face if they're in the NFC Championship game and they're progressing maybe to the Super Bowl? Of course. But I can't believe it's going to happen until I see it come close to happening. I have not seen this duo do what's expected of them, and maybe a little bit more. So until that happens, Eagles easily for me in this. Not even debatable.
And Courtney, you went with the Packers or you went with the Eagles?
No, I went with the Eagles.
Okay, sorry, my earpiece got out here. Okay. I couldn't hear exactly what you said. Okay, so Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni moving on, the 4 seed here, even though some people think Nick Sirianni may not be the coach for the next 5 years. All right, let's go to the other side of the bracket, the 2 seed, Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson versus the 7 seed, Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen. Evan?
This is impossible. This is impossible. Can I say?
Pairing.
Can I say yes on both? Like, I would love both of these. Like, I would be so excited about this. I love Caleb and what he's done this year. Ben Johnson has talked the talk and walked the walk. All of that said, I can't now get off of the Trevor Lawrence bandwagon that I've been on since he was at Clemson. And my son and I watched him play his first college game, and he was a little kid. And I'm like, oh, my God, this kid is as opposed to now he's 12. He's not really like an old man, but he's a Jaguars fan. But like I look at this, and I'm like, this guy should be the best quarterback theoretically in the league. Caleb, I don't know that I look at it and say it should be the best quarterback in the league. I say it should be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But I got to go Trevor Lawrence, and then Liam Cohen had a great first year as well, with way less fanfare than Ben Johnson. I'll go with the Jaguars combination, but this one's not easy.
Evan going with the Jags. Courtney?
I'm going to take the 2 seed, and it's not just because I cover this team, but I saw a team win the NFC North this year when there were questions about the quarterback early on that got answered throughout the season. No, I'm not expecting that the fourth quarter comebacks that Caleb Williams continually pulls out will be what you want to build your success on for the rest of his career, for next season, for beyond. But Ben Johnson created quarterback stability and answered the most important question that this franchise has not been able to answer for 60, 70 years. Like, I look at this and I think this is a no-brainer. You got quarterback stability in Chicago, the place where they have not had it since Sid Luckman. And it's because of this pairing right here. Hands down, maybe the easiest one I've had to decide so far.
All right, Courtney's going with the Bears. Evan, the Jaguars. Vegas East, tiebreaker.
Duval.
Oh, wow.
The seven seed. I've always been a big Trevor Lawrence guy, and Pat thinks that this Bears season might have been a bit of a fluke.
Ooh.
So we're going with 7.
The 7 seed advancing, calling the Bears season a fluke. Maybe we return to that later. All right, final first round matchup. Courtney, we'll start with you. Yep. The 3 seed, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, versus the 6 seed and Bo Nix and Sean Payton. A reminder, this is the duo you want for the next 5 years.
Can I just ask a real quick question? Were they paired up because both quarterbacks had injuries this year and are going to be coming back from injury next season? Is that the reason this pairing is what it is?
They were ranked, not paired. Like, you don't
That's
do it
what
based
I
on
know.
the pairing.
We rank them, yes.
Yeah.
The seeding is just, we put Mahomes and Andy Reid at the 3 spot based on the duration of time. We're talking about 5 years. And, of course, I'm coming back from injury.
Yeah, just interesting observation here. Mahomes and Andy Reid have won 3 Super Bowls together. I can't look past what they've done and know that if they get pieces around Patrick Mahomes whenever he comes back from the ACL tear, he says it's going to be week 1. We'll see if that's the case. He's still an incredibly gifted quarterback, the greatest we've seen playing. How can I possibly pick against that combination when the head coach is very clearly bought in since the beginning of the Patrick Mahomes era into putting him in the position to succeed, and him bailing Andy Reid out when they aren't in position to succeed? Proof of concept is what I'm going on here. I'm taking the 3 seed.
Yeah, this is easy. Kansas City, not even a debate for me. A couple things. Number one, even if within the next 5 years, these two are only a pairing for 3, I feel more confident that I'll have a Super Bowl than I would for any of the other ones within 5 years. That's number one. Number two, I'll say the quiet part out loud, and I'm not saying it's 100% true. I'm saying perception can be reality. Was Matt Nagy fired?
They didn't renew his contract.
They didn't renew his contract. He doesn't have a job elsewhere, and they hired his replacement. So he could interview for all the other jobs, and I think he deserves another look at jobs because I think his time in Chicago numerically, Courtney's probably going to laugh at me, but numerically wasn't as bad as we make it out to be historically. Like, he did have, if I'm not mistaken, a winning record and did make the playoffs. So, like, a look at another job is out there, but something was missing this year, and they immediately get their old guy back who they know they're successful with, and Eric Bieniemy.
Spin the block.
Can we just acknowledge Matt Nagy was fired? Like, he may be a great hire by the Eagles if he becomes their offensive coordinator. The Chiefs had an offensive coordinator. His contract is up. They didn't renew him, and he doesn't have a job elsewhere. You tell me what that looks like.
So you're going with the Chiefs?
Yes, I just thought that the news of yesterday and Bieniemy had to be pointed out. And by the way, left the Bears to go to the Chiefs.
Second round matchup, the 1 seed, Drake May versus Mike Vrabel. Drake May and Mike Vrabel, versus Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. Courtney.
Unpopular, but I'm going to go with Hurts and Sirianni here. Ooh. And a lot of it's for the reasons that I said before. And I look back at it, it was 11-6 that season that they just tumbled to the ground at the end of the year and then lost in the wild card round. The next year they win a Super Bowl. I'm betting that the way that this season ended, again, in the wild card round, is going to force Nick Sirianni to get it right at offensive coordinator, to put his quarterback in the right position, to get back to that level of success that they had 2 years ago.
Yeah, as much as I want to say the Pats, I think that's a fair right answer.
Wow.
I just think...
I'm surprised for you.
Do I think Drake May could ultimately be better than Jalen Hurts? Yes. Do I think that Mike Vrabel is a better coach than Nick Sirianni? Yes. Do I think that I know exactly how those two are going to perform in the biggest games? I do. I will find out how these two will perform in the biggest of games this weekend.
But as you sit here today, you don't know.
Yeah, you're asking me today. You're not asking me next week, right? So I got to be fair and say the Eagles.
Ooh, the 4 seed advancing to the championship. Final second round matchup. Courtney, we'll start with you. The 7 seed, Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen versus the 3 seed, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid.
based on today, using Evan's argument here, going off of what I know today, I don't know how Patrick Mahomes is going to come back from the ACL tear. You think it'd be fine. And there's the proof of concept that I talked about in the reason I allowed Mahomes and Reed from my bracket to advance. But I'm going Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen. Wow. This season left me excited for the beginning of how we saw the season end for the Jaguars against the Bills in the wild card round. I left encouraged. And I left excited about what this pairing's going to be for years to come. So I am, again, buying low on this one, expecting a lot of results in the next 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Trevor Lawrence, I just hyped him up. He's amazing. Mahomes is still breathing. Like, can we stop acting like he's not going to play football again?
I'm not.
This is for the next 5 years.
I don't care. I don't care if he has one leg and one arm.
Do you care if Andy Reid isn't his coach for the next 5 years?
Yeah, you know what? I think he's going to be. But if he's not, he got the guy that he wants the most alongside of him back yesterday. This is the thing. Eric Bieniemy may not be for everyone, but he's for him. Josh McDaniels may not be for everyone, but he's for the Patriots. Like that, there is something to that. Kansas City, no doubt, you do not pass up on Mahomes and Reed. I don't care. You still dive into it and say, we have our best shot for the next 5 years with those two.
Vegas East, tiebreaker.
Smalls, even if Andy Reid only coaches for the next 2 years, him and Mahomes will have more success than T-Law and Liam Cohen. So we're going with the Chiefs.
Okay. Something really must be off with Nuno today, because I said the same thing, and he just reiterated my point.
It was a good point.
It was actually
his computer's broken. His computer's broken.
No, it was actually
a good point.
Actually a good point. All right, let's go to the championship round. We have two Super Bowl winning quarterback head coaching duos facing off against one another. And again, we are going to crown the head coach quarterback duo that you would want for the next 5 years. The 4 seed, Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni versus the 3 seed, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Ladies first, Courtney.
Well, since this is the pairing that I thought it was ultimately going to become, I will take Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes here. If I'm getting 5 years, and they may only be together for 3, assuming Patrick Mahomes comes back fully healthy, looks like himself again, I can't bet against this pairing that's already yielded multiple Super Bowls. So 3 seed for me.
No doubt, Kansas City. That's the right answer. They should be the winner. This is not the finals matchup that I thought it would be. I got to be honest with you.
I didn't think Hurts and Sirianni would.
Once it started to shift, I'm like, we're just going to get spin the block on Chiefs and Eagles again.
Yeah.
Here's what you learn
Not
by
very
doing this
exciting.
exercise. Here's what you learn. It is impossible for us as sports fans and media members and hosts to unsee things. It is also very difficult to see things that we haven't seen before. And so what we've seen in the past, we assume we could see again in the future. What we haven't seen yet, it's harder to predict. That's what you learn out of this, that we are warped by the greatness that we have seen, even if it doesn't mean it's going to be indicative of what's happening in the future. All right, coming up, why not getting a quarterback could be a good idea. We're on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.
The NFL on ESPN Radio.
To get back to the AFC Championship game with Drake May in his second year is nothing short of amazing. There's no reason to think that they can't continue to do this.
The NFL lives here. ESPN Radio.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HAWK to 321-321 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text HAWK to 321-321. That's HAWK to 321-321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Quick break. Want to make a big play on your next paint project? Go with Behr Marquee Interior Paint and Primer. Only at the Home Depot. With over 1,000 colors, exceptional hide,